This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.
Hey, welcome to This Epic Disaster. We are in a brand new location. You may be able to hear some of the ambient noise. We're sitting in, what is this, the Mercury?
Yes, this is the Mercury, and it's at Ponce City Market in Atlanta.
And we're sitting here getting ready to have dinner. I'm going to have the Impossible Burger.
I'm also having the Impossible Burger.
We're going to do a thing where we were talking about New Year's resolutions. And I've made a couple of you.
No. I did. I mean, I've made a vague one, very vague.
Are you on the pot?
A little bit. I'm a little bit on the pot, not like the toilet pot.
Get off the pot.
It's too late.
I've been thinking about New Year's resolutions. This is a time when you're supposed to think about them, and I don't know. I've never really had a lot of luck with them. What about you?
I've never followed all the way through a New Year's resolution, ever.
I think I might have a few times, but I don't know. I feel like there's too much pressure. By the way, I should say my wife is here at the table with us.
Hi, I'm not saying anything.
She's not saying anything. She's on her phone. Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to go on the street and here in Atlanta. We're going to talk to people about New Year's resolutions. We're going to find out if they made resolutions, if they did, what they are. Do they believe in resolutions? I don't know. Do you?
Based on past experience, absolutely not.
I'm one of those weird people that if I'm going to start a habit, it always helps to have something to mark it by, to like a brand new start.
Okay, so the first of the year would be a great time to make any change, a big change in your life, because you could say, someone could ask you 5 years from now, hey, when did you start being vegan? And you could say 2019, New Year's Eve resolution.
Yeah. It always works for me. Well, I won't say it always works for me, but if it's gonna work, it's gonna be the first of the year that it's going to work.
Why not the first of the month?
If that could happen. But okay, so like I did a resolution many years ago to stop drinking soda.
And was that an actual resolution?
Yes. I just said I'm not gonna drink soda anymore because I used to drink so much Tab and Diet Coke.
I remember you drank a lot.
And so I made a resolution, and I've stuck with it. I've not done it since.
I don't recall that being a New Year's resolution.
It was whenever it happened, and it's been many years. I haven't had soda, even though I have soda water, which is weird.
It's still carbonated, but it doesn't have all the coloring and the other stuff that like Tab and Diet Coke do.
It may not even make sense. But anyway, if I'm going to do it, I like having that new start because I always feel like the new year is kind of like a new beginning. So to me, that kind of helps. New Year's resolution helps.
I'm going to make a New Year's resolution right now.
All right.
Okay, my New Year's resolution for 2019 is to go on some not fucking dates, but go on some dates.
All right. I would recommend the fucking dates, but you don't have to do that.
I mean, I'm not against it. I'm just saying I'm not resolving that every date I go on is going to be a fucking date.
Well, this needs to be a whole new show. So how are we going to do this? Well, I mean, I'm just assuming that I'm a part of it, but are we going to get you like a social media dating profile and do like that, or are you just going to actually meet people in like the old-fashioned way?
I'm not capable of meeting people the old-fashioned way because you actually have to go outside for that, like regularly.
Yeah, because when we were planning on this, because we knew we were going to have to stop people on the streets, and you were freaking out.
I was freaking out enough that I actually did pot to go out in public.
I do feel like maybe we should have an episode where we stop people on the street and ask them if they will date you.
No. Oh, God, no. No. That's a hard no for me.
Okay, so we're going to do this about the resolutions, and I'm kind of interested to see what people say. I don't know. Did I already ask you, did you make resolutions for this year other than your dating thing?
You did ask me, and I said I made a very vague resolution.
For dating?
No, my very vague resolution was just basically for trying to be healthier in general.
I do that every year. I think it works, maybe.
I resolve to be healthier every morning when I wake up. And then I have to actually get out of bed.
I resolved not to eat sugar, and I've eaten so many freaking sugar cookies for Christmas. I've blown my next 4 New Year's resolutions for sugar.
Sugar is so easy to stop after, just 2 to 3 weeks? Your body doesn't crave it anymore?
Not when your wife makes a bunch of Christmas cookies.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you can hop right back on that wagon.
Oh, I'm going to hop.
I wouldn't recommend hopping at your age.
I'm going to hop a little bit.
How about we just do a little bounce?
I kind of like the hopping. I have made a resolution to be more artistic. I'm going to do more art this year.
Okay, good luck with that.
I want to worry less about things. I want to try to be less stressful. I want to meditate daily. I would like to think I could do that. And I'm going to try to be more artistic in everything I do.
Okay, so all your resolutions that you just listed are things that you have done in the past. So you already know you can do them. There's nothing stopping you.
Right, but I've slacked. I've slacked off, so now I'm going to get back on the wagon. I'm going to hop back on the wagon. There's going to be more hopping.
Oh, so you resolved to hop more.
I feel like 2019 is going to be the year of the hop.
The year of the hop. I think that was a beer slogan for
The beer of the hop.
the beer of the hop.
Well, those are good. That's my resolution. I think I'm going to be successful. I'm already planning on doing it. And here's the thing. This is why I don't like New Year's resolutions, is because that first time you don't do it or I don't do it, I feel like crap.
But see, that's your own failing, because anytime you don't do something you said you were going to do, you feel like crap, and that's not cool. Because honestly, you're trying, and as long as you're trying and making an actual effort, and if you don't do it one day, it's not the end of the world. It's just like when I quit smoking, the third time, it actually stuck. So yeah, you do tend to kick yourself in the ass if you fuck up a couple times, or if you relapse, or if you don't do the thing. Like if you didn't meditate one day, it's not the end of the world. I guarantee you after about a month of meditating every day, if you don't do it one day, it might feel like the end of the world. But it's not. It's just you missed it. You start over the next day. And that's why New Year's resolutions to me, it should be something that you resolve to do every morning when you wake up, not once and then have to try and stick with it every day. Do you know what I'm saying?
This is my technique for New Year's resolutions. All right, this is the Rick technique. It's a patented technique. You can call it...
Maria's familiar.
It's called the Rick technique or the Baldwin technique. I prefer the Rick technique for New Year's resolutions. Here's what you do.
Okay.
Make your resolutions. That's number one. And you could just write these down or you could do it in your head. So you do this, and you do this before New Year's Eve or on New Year's Eve, but not after. So do them before. And then first day, New Year's Day, don't do them. Don't do them at all. So don't do the resolutions on the first day. That way, you've already failed. And the pressure to keep it going without failing is completely over. And then you could just get on with actually trying to do the resolutions. That's my technique. During this time, our food came. Our food is now here. And so we should probably
Wrap it up.
get ready to go into the streets and talk to people. What do you think? Let's make a resolution that we're going to stop and eat our food and go talk to people. And maybe we'll come back after this. Okay, what's your first name?
George.
George. All right, so what we want to know, George, is do you have any New Year's resolutions?
No, but I'm open to recommendations.
All right, recommendations from me or you?
Generally, anyone.
Any at all? Have you ever had any resolutions in the past?
Yes.
Did they work out?
I'm okay, if that's what you mean.
Anything that you tried to do this year that you failed at?
No.
So, are you saying you didn't try, or you didn't meet any of them?
Good question. I had a resolution to find a mentor at work, and I found one.
Awesome. How did that go?
Great. We still meet monthly.
So it sounds to me like you've had some success with resolutions. If you were going to make a resolution, what would it be?
To be more hospitable.
That's a pretty good one, I think.
Thank you.
All right.
Doing a great job already.
I think so. Awesome. Well, thanks for talking with us and sharing it. Okay, what's your first name?
Anthony?
Anthony. Anthony, have you made any resolutions this year?
Not this year, but previously.
Do you plan to?
I do.
Do you want to share them with us?
Cutting off some relationships and starting new ones.
Cutting out what kind of relationships?
People with negative dispositions, things of that nature, people that aren't moving in the same direction as I am.
Yeah. Well, that seems like it'll work pretty good. Have you ever made resolutions before?
Yeah, unfortunately, the weight loss thing, as you can see.
Is that like a yearly thing? Because I always do that every year.
Well, I sometimes I'm better at it than others, but yes, it sometimes can be.
But probably you think the relationship thing you'll have better luck with that.
I'll try to. I might have a sweetheart or a soft heart for some people. So.
Maybe you have. Have you ever had a resolution to be on a podcast?
No, I haven't.
And yet here you are on a podcast.
Here I am, a new opportunity, a resolution already checked off the box. See, you didn't even know it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for talking with us and sharing your resolution.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And what is your first name?
Stacy.
Stacy, it's a pleasure to meet you. Do you have any New Year's resolutions this year?
Oh, yes, I do.
Would you mind telling me what it is?
To become a vegetarian.
To become a vegetarian. We're both vegetarians, honest.
She's a vegetarian.
You're not part of the cool club.
So you get to be part of the cool club now.
I do.
Is this the first time you've attempted to become a vegetarian?
Absolutely not. Several times.
And why have you failed in the past?
I think the chicken was calling me.
I feel you. I do. I feel you. That's his too. Well, have you ever had any previous resolutions that did succeed and that you're proud of?
My wife.
Very good. Very good. Is that this young lady here? Congratulations.
15 years. 15 years.
15 years. That is a heck of a New Year's resolution, because look at that.
Trying to keep it going.
Every year you make that resolution.
Yeah.
So why did you want to become a vegetarian?
For health reasons. I think it's time to just make a commitment to myself to be healthier for my 4-year-old daughter. So first myself, but my family. I think it would be a good thing to do.
Well, that's great. And don't get discouraged if you do have a few mess ups, because we certainly did when we first started.
Right.
I think you'll be good. I think you'll be great. Thank you for talking with us.
Oh, my pleasure. It's a pleasure.
What's your first name?
Bryce.
Bryce. Do you have any resolutions this year?
Really just to lose weight, but God knows if I'll even get into that one.
New Year's resolutions, is that something you do every year?
I try to have them, but they're always things that are so hard to stick with, and shouldn't just use the beginning of the year as a time to try to, do something for yourself. You should try to be working on yourself throughout the year.
Do you think that, so New Year's resolutions to you is be a concept you should probably do throughout the year, maybe like even in April or June or whatever, just set new goals?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's helpful at the first of the year. It's almost like you got a brand new year. Do you think that has anything to do with success?
Well, that's a hard one. I feel like it's a new year, but you're coming into this the same person. You got the same bank account, you got the same sort of things going on, and some people see it as a time to change, but I guess that's just a sign of beginning of a new year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to give you an opportunity right now to give humanity a resolution. So you get an opportunity to tell everybody else, to give us all a resolution to work for at the first of the year. What would it be?
Stop getting mad at each other.
Pretty good, I would say. Well, I appreciate your input. Thanks for helping us out and being on the podcast.
Thanks for letting me be on.
And what's your first name?
Misty. Nicole.
Misty and Nicole. All right, so we're doing a podcast about New Year's resolutions. Have you made any resolutions this year?
I
want to take better care of myself.
I think that if you make it a resolution, then it's just going to go away on its own like everything else that you always see resolutioners and then they quit. So it's more about a lifestyle
Like how
change, I think.
How the gym is always like super packed for like the first month of the year and then it goes to shit, you know?
Yeah, and so do you believe okay, so at the first of the year, New Year's, you got a brand new year, the slate is wiped clean. Do you think that has anything to do psychologically or mentally with success?
I mean, I think it has a lot to do with it. I mean, it's a fresh start. I mean, once a year it happens. You can make everything different. And I think that a lot of people stick to it. A few months go by, and the hardest part is continue to keep going.
Did you guys make resolutions last year?
No.
I don't think I made any resolutions last year. Not like official ones. I don't know.
I mean, I think the biggest resolution is to lose weight, get in better shape, and take better care of yourself.
Make more money.
Because we tend to treat our bodies like amusement parks.
Yeah.
All right, well, I really appreciate your viewpoint, and thanks for your feedback, and good luck with your resolutions, whatever you decide.
We were helpful. I don't know if we were that helpful, but thank you.
Definitely, thank you.
Thank you.
And what is your first name?
Mark.
Mark, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Sherry. This is Rick. We do a podcast called This Epic Disaster. Now, we're talking to people about New Year's resolutions, and I'm curious to know if you have made any for this year.
I think I have. It's interesting because you don't really think about it too much anymore, but I would say, well, I guess you can go back to the kickboxing stuff and be a little more athletic and everything like that, but I don't know, just kicking ass at my job, I guess, and doing better than this year.
Those are all actually really great resolutions. You want to take a little bit better care of yourself. You want to do a little better at work, give a little extra effort there. That's good. That's good. Have you made these same resolutions in the past?
No.
You have not. Have you ever made a resolution in the past in which you failed miserably?
Probably.
Any specific ones you can remember? No. Okay. So what do you think about making a resolution in the middle of the year as opposed to the beginning of the year?
I think you can make a resolution monthly.
That's actually a great answer.
It's a new start.
Every month is a new start. Every day is a new start. Well, good for you. Good luck in your resolution. And I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
And what is your first name, please?
Joanna.
Joanna, it's a pleasure to meet you. Do you have any resolutions this year?
I don't believe in resolutions.
You don't believe in them. No, I love that. That's a great answer. And why don't you believe in resolutions?
Because any day can be a day that you choose to do something differently. It doesn't mean that you have to consistently follow through with it. It just means that it's an opportunity to try something new and see if it works with your lifestyle.
That's an excellent answer. Thank you for that. I think anybody who wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to try this today and see if it fits, actually has a wonderful attitude. So thank you for that. Have you ever tried in the past to make a resolution?
I did. I was going to read the Bible in a whole entire year, and then I got pretty far into it, and then I stopped because life picks up every day, and so it's hard to stay consistent with what you try to do and stay in your routines, especially when life is fluctuating ever so often. So.
Great. Yeah, actually, that's a pretty big resolution right there. I've done it, but it takes some work, so it really does. So thank you for your answer. And again, life does get in the way, so if you do resolve to do anything today and you don't get to it today, there's always tomorrow.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. And what are your first names, please?
India. Taurus.
It's a pleasure to meet you both. All right. Have you both got New Year's resolutions this year?
Yes.
And can you tell me what it is?
Yes, it is to pay off my college loans.
That's a big one.
We'll see if it happens,
Have you ever tried to resolve for that before, or are you right out of college?
I graduated 3 years ago, and I can do it now, so it's just putting the money towards Great Lakes.
That's good luck with that one, really, honestly. I tried to resolve to pay my student loans off one time, and it failed miserably. I hope you don't.
Thank you.
And what is your resolution?
I think my resolution is just to get out more, explore the city more, because I'm kind of a bit of a hermit. So I need to get out the house, see more things, and take more pictures.
Ooh, yes, take more pictures, absolutely. And, how long have you lived here?
Well, I'm actually from here, but then I went to school in North Carolina, and then I came back a couple years ago. So I've been back for about 2 years.
Okay, great. Yeah, 2 years. That you need to get out there and see some stuff because stuff has changed. That's for sure.
Absolutely, it definitely has.
Okay, this is kind of a strange question, but if you had one famous person that you could make a resolution for, who would it be and what would it be?
This is completely off the top. Jimi Hendrix, because I was obsessed with him when I was younger. It'd probably be just cut back on some of the substances so he would have made it past the 27 club.
That is an awesome resolution, and if you had made that for him back then, maybe he would have made it past the 27 club. Maybe. How about yourself?
Oh, wow, this is so random. Okay, I'm just going to say I would make a resolution for Cardi B so that she does not play herself go back to Offset and look crazy out here when he cheats on her again.
I love that resolution. Everybody should make a resolution not to go back to toxic relationships.
Absolutely. That's not for 2019.
Let's make that resolution for everybody.
We should, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being part of the podcast.
Okay, what's your first name?
Caitlin.
What do you think of New Year's resolutions?
Do you mean just in general?
Yeah, just in general, do you think they work?
I mean, no. I don't.
Have you ever made New Year's resolutions?
I made kind of casual New Year's resolutions. I've never been this year I'm going to do this specific goal that is super specific, I'm going to hit the gym or I'm going to go vegan. I don't know. I've never done anything specific like that, but I have been okay, maybe this year I'll be a little bit more conscious of my health, and then that'll encompass a lot of things, like hitting the gym and being more mindful of what I eat. But I think those types of resolutions can be maybe a little bit better because it's not so what's the word? It doesn't feel like too much of a commitment, but also you're doing the thing that you set out to do. So I don't know.
Well, my next question was going to be, have you made a resolution? But it sounds like you have not.
Oh no, I haven't. I mean, I kind of have. My partner and I said that we were going to do the Whole30 diet in January. I don't really want to do that.
All right, then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an opportunity right now to make a resolution that you think that you'll keep. And it can be anything. So what do you think?
This year my resolution is going to be oh gosh. It's going to be I'm going to make it. It's going to be good.
You can cheat and make it real easy.
Okay. All right, let me do okay. I'm not going to say I'm sorry so much.
Oh, wow.
Excellent.
Okay.
That's a really good one.
I think maybe sometimes you need to.
I mean, sometimes you do, but sometimes people bump into me and then I say I'm sorry, and so I'm gonna try not to do that.
You're not going to take credit for things that other people have done.
Right. I'm gonna be more assertive and not be so I'm sorry that I said that you need to stop bothering me.
So if we call you up and say this podcast really blew, it failed, you're not going to take credit.
I mean,
I don't blame you. I wouldn't either. It's our fault.
It's our fault.
We made it suck. No one else. All right, so I'm going to give you one more choice here, or one more chance. Any famous person at all, you can make a resolution for them. And something that you would love to see them stick with. Anybody, you can pick their famous person. Give us a resolution, and we're going to see if we can get it to them.
okay, so a resolution for a famous person.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh no, I don't know. Oh no.
Anybody out there that you think should stop doing something or should start doing something?
Or stop doing something as much.
Yeah.
Or just change their ways. I don't know. When I say famous, just something that people would know.
Okay. Let's see.
Maybe your boss.
Maybe my boss. Maybe my boss.
We only have your first name. Your boss is not going to know.
I'm the only Caitlin.
Uh-oh.
Funny. Oh wait, no, there's one more Caitlin. Okay, never mind. I'm safe. Maybe.
Resolution to like really tighten it up.
Yeah, maybe a resolution to the CEO of King of Pops. Both of them. Maybe this year they should
Make more flavors.
make more flavors. They should make more flavors and maybe, kind of, how do I say this nicely? You don't have to. Maybe, this is where I'm apologizing. Maybe they should be a little bit more considerate and mindful of us at the bar.
As we all should be.
Agreed.
And maybe a raise for all employees. I'm saying that.
I'm like about to grab maybe a raise.
Thank you so much for your point of view, and I wish you luck on any resolutions you might decide to make, and hopefully corporate will hear this.
Absolutely. Hopefully.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. You did a great job.
Now, we're not going to be doing any Zapmando. We could just make up some would you rathers.
We could actually. We could have Maria ask us some would you rather's.
All right, you be thinking of some would you rathers. You just ask us would you rather, and then two different parts. Would you rather have 1,000 ants crawling on you or being eaten by a polar bear? Something like that. I don't know. Just give us a choice of would you rather, and then we choose it. While we're waiting on her, I want to do, well, we're not drinking beer, we're drinking cocktails. I want to do a live cocktail review. I don't know that you said you didn't want to participate.
I can participate if you'd like.
You threatened to stab me with a pickle.
Well, it's because you were sticking me with a stick.
All right, so what are you drinking?
I'm currently drinking a Maker's and Ginger.
A very simple cocktail.
It's very simple. Maker's Mark, obviously, bourbon, and ginger beer.
Is there like an official name for that drink?
Maker's and Ginger.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like rum and coke.
I mean, yeah.
I'm having a hot buttery cider.
Why would you do that?
It just sounded good. It looks kind of good, but I have no idea what it tastes like.
It doesn't seem like a drink I would have with dinner.
Screw you.
No, thank you.
I'm going to try it.
Please do.
Should I go first, or do you want to go first?
I've already gone, so officially I went first.
You want to go ahead and review yours, or should I go ahead and drink mine?
Please review yours.
All right, I'm going to drink my hot buttery cider right now. All right. It's hot. Actually, it's warm. Not sure if it's buttery. I do taste apple, and whatever the alcohol is in it, very burny. It burns. It's very burny.
It's a burny drink.
They should call this Bernice.
No, they should just call it the burn. Feel the burn.
It's interesting. You want to try it?
I do.
It's appley.
Yeah, that's rum.
It's warm apple rum. I don't know that I would say buttery, but whatever. It's kind of ciderish.
Yeah, I mean it's all right. It's not as yummy as it looks.
I kind of agree with that, even though it's still good. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean I agree with that on that one, and I'll go ahead and tell you about mine. It's also not as yummy as it looks. I'm not sure of the brand of ginger beer that they use here at the Mercury, but I know it's not what I use at home.
Okay, probably not.
At home, I use Fever Tree, which is a little bit expensive, but really super yummy.
All right.
And this one tastes less, I won't say less sweet, even though that is true, but that's not the factor for me. It's a little more carbonated-y. Is that a word? Carbonated-y?
I think so.
No, it's not a word. It's just more carbonated. You can stop there. Tell us what your ultimate thoughts are on your hot buttered cider.
If I was here and I wasn't having dinner and I just wanted to have a little drink, a little beverage, it'd be nice and cozy. A decent drink for having at home in front of the fire. I don't think the drink should equal I don't think the drink equals the cost.
Okay, I agree with that.
It's $12 for this thing.
Yeah, that's a bit much, but I mean, if you look at where we are, mine was $12 too, I think. So either way, but again, it's not a drink that most people, let's say, would even choose to have with dinner.
No, it's kind of it should be like I said, by itself in front of the fire drink, but I'm enjoying it just fine. I finished my dinner. I don't have any dinner left.
Okay, well, I'm going to do the same.
All right.
Not yet. But I am done with the papers.
Are you ready for some Zapmando?
Sure.
Okay, so we're gonna do now. This is not officially Zapmando because it's this. We're not using the Zapmando cards. We're not going to drop the color stones. Basically, we're just going to get asked some would you rather questions.
Okay, sounds good.
And they're not going to be in any order. So I just kind of want to keep the theme going.
Okay.
And we're live at a little restaurant, and we don't have our Zapmando.
We didn't bring it with.
We rarely do.
I mean, it's not something that I take out the house most days.
We need some travel Zapmando. All right, so we're gonna. My wife is going to ask us would you rather questions. Do you? She should dictate who goes first on these questions.
I'm gonna do Sherry first.
Sherry goes first.
All right, Sherry. Would you rather reverse one decision you make every day, or be able to stop time for 10 seconds each day?
I would. Oh crap, that's a hard one. Only 10 seconds? Because as soon as you said the word stop time, I was like, yes, that's what I wanted. Yes, that right there. But it's only 10 seconds. So what's the point?
Seconds. It's enough to be able to change direction on something.
Yeah. I'm not so sure about that. I'm going to say the first one. I would rather reverse one decision I make every day.
I thought that was a pretty cool question.
It was actually a really good question, and as soon as she said the word stop time, I was like, yes, that's what I want to do.
All right, so now it's my turn. I get a question. What's my question?
I'm asking a lot of questions about regret. It's deep. Would you rather be able to have a complete do-over on your life, like start it from the beginning, or would you like to be able to wake up like tomorrow and just be able to do whatever you wanted from this point forward?
I don't even think about that one. The second part, B, I would definitely do that. Yeah. Yep. So that one. Wake up tomorrow and be able. Yeah, whatever I want to do. That's easy.
So you'd be willing to just basically like not have any of the experiences that you had prior, but no, actually you would. You like retain all the experiences and still do it. Okay, cool.
The first answer would be like have a whole new life, which I guess some people would. I've thought about it would kind of be fun having a new life with all new options, but I also like some of the options I made, so I don't want to cleanse it all. But I do like the idea of waking up tomorrow and doing whatever I want, although I kind of think I do that every day anyway. Anyone want to disagree? Anyone want to say anything the opposite? All right, no one does. All right, well, so that's our attempt at Zapmando. As we do the podcast in public, I like doing this epic disaster in public at a restaurant.
Oh, what part of this do you like?
It's fun. I really want to do the thing where we have people to come up and be our guests.
We should try that again, but we definitely learned some things from our last attempt, which was, 6 months ago?
Yeah, and the number one thing we learned was do not try it at a place where no one is there.
I mean, if there's nobody there, we have no guests.
And if there's a lot of people there, but none of them want to be our guest, that doesn't work either.
No, and because of that, I think 4 p.m. on a Sunday is a bad time. It's just a bad time.
I agree. All right, so we'll make a resolution that we will not, that we'll do it at a better time. All right, so what do we do now? We got to go out and talk to people, and then we'll probably wrap up the podcast, or we just want to end it there, or what do we want to do? You know what? We should end it with fireworks. Fireworks is a good way to, because New Year's Eve always has fireworks.
Personally, I'm asleep by the time the fireworks start. Although in my neighborhood, they tend to start around 6, which sometimes I am already asleep.
You just make noises.
That's not necessarily fireworks. That's more of a game of, is it a shotgun or is it a firework?
When we lived in Chattanooga, I don't know if you remember this. Remember, Sherry and I, we lived in this. We lived in a place in a very sketchy neighborhood, and it was New Year's Eve, and the neighbors came out and shot their guns in the air. It was very scary, very scary.
I hear that at least twice a week where I live.
Do you remember also the time where someone come knocking on the door at like 2 a.m?
I do, and it still gives me nightmares.
That was horrifying. It was scary. Someone was trying to rape us. No, they were. Really. And I don't consider rape funny. I don't know why you're laughing. But really, they were knocking on the door, and there were like 2 or 3 people you could hear.
They weren't knocking on the door. They were fucking pounding on.
They were pounding on the door, and they were trying to get us to come out. And I know they were going. I think they're going to molest me, particularly. I don't know what they're going to do to Sherry, but I'm pretty sure I was the one they wanted.
I mean, if I had known that, I would have just stayed in bed.
That was horrifying. All right, so yeah, I think. All right, so let's just end the podcast here. So what we'll do is we'll talk to the people on the street, and then that's it. Let's wrap up the podcast. So this epic disasters. Now, here's the thing. A lot of the people who we talked about on the street are going to listen to this. This is the first podcast they've heard of us. This is what they think the podcast is all the time. And I'm just going to say, please, if you have family, friends, if you're listening to the podcast, go back and listen to some other episodes too. This is a very different episode. We're doing this one out in the open. It might be a little shorter than normal. But yeah, thanks for being on the podcast, those people who did participate. And thanks to the people who listened to the podcast. If you're a podcast person, This Epic Disaster, you can find us on Facebook. This Epic Disaster on Facebook. We also have a website, thisepicdisaster.com. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We are on Twitter. We don't twit a lot, but sometimes we do. But you can find us all over the place, and you can send us email at thisepicdisaster@gmail.com. Send us your suggestions. Send us your comments. Send us money.
Don't send us hate mail.
Send us the pot. We'd like to have the pot.
That's not legal.
Oh, I'm talking about like to make black-eyed peas and food, like a pot. Yeah. What did you think? No, not like that. I don't mean that kind of pot. Jeez. I'm talking about like a crock pot, a food pot. That's what I want. All right. Thanks, people. Thanks for listening and participating. And we will be back next week on This Epic Disaster. And we'll have all kinds of fun stuff. Right?
Yes.
And don't stab me with your pickle, Sherry. All right. Bye.
Bye. This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.